What's going on, guys? It's your boy Sleazy here, and we're back with another fantastic of a woke DEI company coping and seething, trying to dispel rumors that they implemented DEI and went full woke and work with Sweet Baby Inc. because they know it's a death sentence for their game at this point. These companies know that anytime something is labeled with DEI, nobody wants to buy it. Nobody. It does terrible, whether it be movies, TV shows, video games, anything of the sort. The simple label of having DEI means that that thing will do poorly in the free markets. And Capes is a perfect example of that. Now, I saw my last video about Concord versus Mecha Break and how one's woke and one's not. I saw a bunch of weird comments. Now, I did have to delete the comments because they started schizo posting, and YouTube has a problem if you don't moderate your comment section or your chat in a certain way. But they said DEI is everywhere. They said, having absolutely gorgeous women and female characters and male characters separated and not being androgynous, it is DEI in itself, and so I was like, that is the most mentally deficient thing I've heard in a while. Maybe I'll have to make a video explaining what DEI and wokeness is, and give examples so these people can understand, because they seem not to understand what they're saying. So just before we get into this, guys, I want to make sure to remind you, make sure you smash that like button, make sure you subscribe, and make sure you share this one out, guys. But let's go ahead and get into it. So I've covered the rise of Cabrutus and the rise of DEI detected websites and the Steam page. And, something happened that I feel like I need to cover. So Daedalic Entertainment and Spitfire Interactive decided that they want to make this game called Capes. And they want to consult with Sweet Baby. Well, they got caught doing it. And when people started asking in the Steam forums, oh my god, this has DEI in it, it's going to be woke and terrible, the developers decided that they needed to shut down that discussion and not let people see what's going on. Because, as soon as the word gets out that they worked with Sweet Baby Inc. or DEI consultants, and that the game is woke DEI nonsense, people don't want to buy it. So I will give a shout out to that Park Place, because they did make an article about it. But the rest of the article is kind of pointless for what I'm looking for here. So they go on to say what the developer said. And here's what their cope and seethe about this, and trying to hide the fact that their game is absolute disgusting DEI woke nonsense, is that they say, we already had 3 months and 14 pages of constructive discussion about DEI in the forum and delivered a gameplay update focused on exactly what the player base wanted, leading to 80% positive reviews. Now, that is something we can actually fact check and do it relatively quickly by simply going over to the Steam page, where all the reviews and the recent reviews are mixed. And if you're not familiar with how Steam reviews works, you actually have to purchase the game to be able to leave a review. It's not like Rotten Tomatoes or IMDb where you just create an account and you start spamming reviews. You actually have to purchase the product to review it. So people have purchased the Capes game and have determined that it is not a good game. And when the developers go in and say, we need to delete all the stuff that says it's DEI, doesn't change the fact that it is still DEI, that it is forced injection of this critical race theory woke racist nonsense, where we have to force diversity into a game in spots where it doesn't belong. So here Capes is with mixed reviews because it has DEI and works with the DEI consultants to make their game woke. And for anybody who says that DEI is not a label of how bad a game's going to be, it's the opposite, that people try and flock to play these games. Let's pull up the Steam charts for this game. Let's pull up the Steam charts for the game that worked with Sweet Baby Inc., where the all-time peak players was 664. Or we can do even better. We can compare it to other games who have had the DEI woke label, such as Suicide Squad, Kill the Justice League, where its all-time peak for a AAA studio with a massive marketing campaign was 13,000 players on release, where now we can see there's maybe 500 or 600 players. Ooh, 300 players, and it's still getting updates. That's not even the worst one. That's really not even the worst one, because if we go to Concord, another game I've complained about a lot, forcing DEI into a game where it doesn't belong, making disgusting characters to check off their checkboxes that they need for DEI. How that one was a 2,000 player all-time peak for another game that was heavily promoted and was supposed to be a AAA game. So we have the metrics to verify what we're saying. We can actually verify that when when a DEI label or something is labeled woke, the game does poorly and it is reviewed poorly. We can go back and reference hundreds, if not thousands of games, movies, and TV series and show that these woke games are absolute pieces of garbage. And the plot lines are always terrible. The characters are always terrible. Everything about the games is terrible because it doesn't focus on being a good game. It doesn't focus on what the game was designed to do. It focuses on injecting a DEI political narrative where everything has to be representative in an equal fashion. When we look at something like Mecha Break that I have applauded as being fantastic, not woke, not DEI, it has a character generator where you can make your own character almost like what you want. Making your character obese is kind of out of the question. I applaud that. But even playing for the hours and hours I have playing that, nobody makes characters like these DEI consultants are forcing down people's throats. Everybody makes the character that they want to play as or they want to see. And it's never the fat black lesbian. It's never the disabled weirdo. It's either the strong buff guy, the trope of being a heroic male, or it's the feminine woman that's just absolutely gorgeous. And granted, there are people who make funny characters, guys that look like they're microcephalic and they have tiny bodies and giant heads, which is always hilarious to see because it doesn't happen a lot. But it's something that is natural. It's organic. It doesn't have to be forced, right? Because nobody's like, you have to make a game with hot women. No, they're like, we want a character creator to make the character that what we want. And I think that's the big difference. And I think that's why developers like Spitfire and publishers are absolutely scared to death at getting the DEI label. Like when we saw Microsoft lay off its entire DEI team. Now, granted, like I said in that video before about Microsoft, it's being rebranded to Bridge. Because Bridge is the next iteration of DEI. It's a rebrand to try and hide that it is the exact same thing that everybody hated before. Maybe I'll do a longer form video and I'll put that on my front page of my YouTube channel, breaking down what DEI and what wokeness is and what they mean and how they operate. Because this video is kind of turning into that, and I'm supposed to be talking about capes. So everybody who stuck with me till the end, make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you share this one out. And until the next one, guys, be easy like Sleazy.